What's going on, guys? I'm Tommy, and I'm coming at you with an action figure review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Hasbro The Black Series Jedi Master Kelnacca from the Acolyte. As far as action figures go from the Acolyte, this was probably one of my most anticipated characters. I was a little apprehensive before getting this in hand, as I wasn't sure from the promo shots how I felt about the face on this figure, but I can already say that I think the face looks better in hand than it did in the promo pics, so that was really my only thing I was worried about, so I'm really excited to check out this guy. He's a Wookiee Jedi. I mean, what else is there to say? I mean, regardless of your opinions of the Acolyte series, a Wookiee Jedi is something that I feel like most people would want to pick up. Master Kelnacca is a mainline deluxe release for the Black Series here in 2025, meaning he is a bit of a higher price point than your average Black Series figure. He also comes in some wider packaging. As you can see, this is the standard packaging for the deluxe figures in the Black Series right now. I did pick this figure up on a pre-order through Big Bad Toy Store. Big Bad Toy Store is the place I go to for most of my action figure orders and pre-orders. I really like their service. They're a great US-based company, and I think if you're a US-based collector, you'll really enjoy them. So checking out the packaging a little further, you have your Black Series logo up at the top, a nice big plastic window showing you the figure and his one accessory. You have the character's name in vertical text here, as well as that he is number 9 for the Acolyte subline. Down below the window here, you have this nice kind of like scarlet colored banner that kind of also represents the Acolyte subline. And at the bottom you have some of your legalese and logos. On this side of the box you get your mural art for Kelnacca. I think he looks great, looks exactly as he does in the show. Got the lightsaber in hand, not much else to say there. And on the back of the box you get a lot of the stuff we saw on the other sides of the box, like the mural image that we saw on the side, blown up quite a bit. You get your Black Series logo, the character's name, and a bio in about 1,000 different languages. This bio reads, "A Wookiee Jedi Master, Kelnacca has sequestered himself in the tangled jungles of Kofar for mysterious reasons." And then down here again we reiterate he is number 9 for the Acolyte subline. You have all your legalese down here, guys. Please don't feed this action figure to your babies. On this side of the box you have your Black Series logo, as well as some of that wraparound window. On the bottom of the box some more legalese, and on the top nothing. As far as packaging goes, that about wraps it up, so let's get this figure opened and we'll check him out. Alright guys, here's Master Kelnacca out of the box. Before we check him out, we'll first check out the one accessory he comes with, that being his lightsaber. His lightsaber is actually pretty significant in the show, as Jackie Lawn does end up using it to fight Chimere for a little bit, which is pretty cool in the show. I really like this lightsaber design. Again, I feel like this fits for a Wookiee character. I like that it's a different color than most of your other lightsabers. I also really like how they were able to sculpt it so that the blade actually kind of has a little cut through here. I like that a lot. That's a super cool detail. It's got a little bit of brown paint application. You have your usual peg for the lightsaber so you can put it onto the belt, and then you have this really nice deep vibrant green for the blade. They went with a thicker, longer blade to kind of make it more proportionate to the character, which I think is very fitting. And of course the blade does remove, as most lightsaber blades in the line do, and as you can see, this is what that looks like as it's separated. Very, very nice. There's no wrong way to plug this back in, and it plugs in very easily, and it's a very easy connection, very taut connection, and I'm very happy with this accessory. Okay, let's check out Jedi Master Kelnacca here. So the first thing that I want to talk about here obviously is the soft goods robes. I want to say first impressions, they did very, very good on these soft goods robes, as they've done with all of the Acolyte figures. That's something that I've really, really enjoyed across the board with the Acolyte Jedi figures, would be how they executed the soft goods robes. This one's great too, because this one is for a larger character. They did stitch down the top of the hood. Again, I don't think we ever saw Kelnacca with his hood up in the show, so I really don't have a problem with that. And honestly, it really helps with the articulation and just keeping everything looking natural. He could bend his arms just fine with it on, and you can get it flowing in any which direction. However, we are going to be shedding the Jedi robes, and that is very very easy to do. Just gonna take the arms and put them behind the character, and that's how you get those off. And now we have our Wookiee with his Jedi robes on, which does look kind of silly, but at the same time, I think they did do a good job here of, you know, making it look good for the figure here. And I gotta say, first impressions, this guy is awesome. I think that this guy he's very chunky. He feels very heavy in the hand, very solid figure. And, you know, for a deluxe release that already doesn't feel very deluxe, I think that that is a plus, that the figure is very chunky and feels very hefty in the hand. I will say, as far as sculpted and painted detail goes, I'm very, very impressed with this figure. Looking at the face here, again, I think the face in hand looks much better than it did on camera with those promo shots. He just has very, very sunken eyes, and I think that's what gets me. It just, in certain lighting, it just doesn't look very, very good. But, you know, in hand, I think it looks much better than the promo shots made it look. He's got paint for the eyes, got paint at the nose, and a little bit of an open mouth, which is great. Just a little bit of an expression there. He has a little bit of darker brown around the face here. And then something that's very interesting about Kelnacca is the sides of his head are actually shaved, and he has these little tattoos, these little blue markings here, which are very interesting. I think these are printed on nicely, and then you can see up here, I guess I'll call it his mohawk. He has a little hair clip that's painted there as well. And then on the front of the beard, he's also got these little clips here on the front here. You can see him very dark silver, almost like a gunmetal color. Looks good. As far as the fur goes, I don't see too much painted detail, but the sculpting on this fur is done really, really well. And he looks like he's going to be able to articulate much, much better than our previous Chewbacca-based body figures, which I'm very happy about. He does also have a lot of paint application at the belt, so he does have his High Republic Jedi battle robes on. And as you can see on the belt here, he's got lots of detail, just different rivets and buttons on the back that are painted, as well as different details towards the front that are painted too. Overall, very, very nice looking figure. The presentation on this guy is amazing. The belt and the lower part of the tunic are a rubbery overlay. So actually the yellow, outer darker yellow piece, this outer tunic, has its own overlay, and then it's a separate layer underneath. It's got a lot of separation there, and I think I can feel Wookiee hair underneath this Jedi robe too, which I figured they would do this. I'm assuming this guy's going to get reused for an upcoming Chewbacca release, which was, again, on their part, pretty smart in my opinion. All right, so let's check out Master Kelnacca's articulation here. So taking a look at it, we've got a ball joint at the neck, which actually has a surprising amount of range. So Kelnacca can actually look down a little bit, which is good because he's going to be taller than most people. Can't really look up. That's expected though, just because of the sculpting of the Wookiee hair. You can't really get much tilt out of that, but you can swivel left and right, which is good. Again, we want to get as much articulation out of this guy as possible because he's a Jedi. However, it's hard because, you know, the design of a Wookiee isn't very toyetic sometimes. Looking at the shoulders here, there is a butterfly joint underneath the overlay of the Jedi tunics. It's got some decent range to it, even with that Jedi tunic there. So for a Jedi character, I'm happy with that. You also get a full 360-degree swivel, and the hinge goes up to 90 degrees, which is great. At the elbows, he's got some deep cut single jointed elbows, which are going to get you well past that 90-degree mark. Always very good. And you can also get some swivel from the top of the elbow there. I could just be tripping, but I'm pretty sure that Jedi Master Kelnacca has got some ball jointed wrists under here. I can see all kinds of movement out of these, and for a character that has sculpting that goes all the way around the wrists, this is probably the best, the smartest option to go with, as opposed to try and get some hinges that aren't even going to work anyway. So I gotta give Hasbro props. The ball jointed wrists are definitely a plus on this guy. He's gonna have a ball joint at the midsection, right where the belt meets the top of the tunic there, and you can see you'll get some decent range out of that. Nothing crazy, but still some decent range, better than some other characters. Now we get to underneath the Jedi tunics. He's gonna have a ball joint at the hips here, which is good, and then he has almost no thigh swivel. So what they did on this figure, they omitted the thigh swivel cut, and they have used this updated hip joint. However, in this case, it doesn't really work at all. This is a complaint that I have with some of the new Black Series figures that I'll voice here in this review. If you're not going to do the thigh cut, can we at least, you know, carve out more of the inside of the thigh so that we can actually get something like a thigh swivel, especially for a character like this where the, you know, the tunic is covering up the joint anyway. I mean, I feel like most collectors won't care, you know, if you want to carve it out anyway so that we can get more range out of it. But I don't know, very, very frustrating, because especially with a Jedi figure, that just kind of sucks. As far as the knees go, we get some deep cut single jointed knees. Those are going to get you to about that 90-degree mark, which is pretty typical for Black Series. And you do have a swivel at the top of the knee there too. And then at the ankles, of course, you get your forward facing pin for rocker, and you get a hinge, which gets you some actually pretty decent forward considering the sculpting, and just a little bit of back as well. So overall, for a Wookiee, this is definitely the best articulated Wookiee we have in the Black Series right now, just because of the limitations of the character, how it looks in universe. Trying to, you know, translate that to action figure form can be very difficult. So I have to give this figure its flowers for its presentation and its ability to articulate for the most part in a very good way. All right, checking out accessories here. The first thing we're going to do here is we're going to remove the blade from our lightsaber again. You can actually attach that on the right side of the belt here. We'll see there is a corresponding peg hole for the peg and the lightsaber hilt. There's a very taut connection there. Definitely going to pass your shake test, and it looks really, really nice on the belt. Again, very proportionate for the size of this character, which I'm happy about. All right, now we've got our lightsaber blade back in the hilt here, so now we're going to get the lightsaber into Kelnacca's hands. So let's do it in his left hand here. I'm gonna headcanon that Kelnacca is left-hand dominant, and this fits really nicely in that left hand. This right hand is more of like a trigger finger hand, like a faux trigger finger, so I kind of wanted to just go with more of the C-grip hand, as that will just generally hold the lightsaber more naturally. And again, passes the shake test. Let's get him into a quick pose here. Here's Kelnacca in a nice little bit of a lower stance here with that lightsaber in hand. Looks awesome. With the butterfly joints, we're also able to get Kelnacca into a two-handed lightsaber holding pose very, very easily. I'm actually really happy with how easy this was to achieve, again, on such a chunky figure. Again, we have that very long, thick lightsaber blade, which does not show up on the camera completely. However, it is proportionate to the character, and so I am a fan of it. Just playing around here, we're going to get him into a more dynamic pose, like he's going to make a downward strike with that lightsaber. And again, as really as limiting as that head is, you can still get him into some decent poses here. And again, this guy's got a really nice center of gravity. I'm really able to pose this guy very easily in a one-legged pose. And here he is with the soft goods Jedi robes on. Again, I will say these were a little difficult to get back on just because of the sculpting of the arms here around the elbow joint. It is obviously very furry, so it does get caught, but I think he looks really good with the Jedi robes on. Lightsaber in hand, I think you can get a lot of good posing out of him. And that about wraps it up for Jedi Master Kelnacca. I'm gonna be honest, I'm having a lot of fun with this figure. I think this is definitely worth picking up. Again, like I said in the beginning, regardless of your opinions of the Acolyte, I think this is a great Jedi figure, a great Wookiee Jedi for the collection. I think this is also by far the best articulated Wookiee in the Black Series line right now, and I'm very excited. I hope they use this sculpt going forward with their Wookiee figures, because this is just phenomenal. I think you guys will really enjoy this one. My only real knock on this figure is that this figure doesn't have thigh swivel or a very well carved out hip joint, you know, so you can't really move those legs in and out too much. However, other than that, I think he's a fantastic figure and worth a pickup. But with that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. If you did and you're not yet subscribed, subscribe to Blitz Transmissions. I've got awesome Star Wars content coming out all the time. If you are an ARC Trooper in my Patreon, you would have seen this review early. If you'd like access to early content, monthly giveaways, and other awesome benefits, make sure to check out the link to my Patreon in the description below. If you're a fan of the reviews, or you still want to support the channel in a financial way, you could check out the channel membership Rancor Battalion for just 99 cents a month. Gives you access to all my reviews early, as well as the ability to vote on what I review next for the channel. In addition to that, you can check out my merch at the Blitz Transmissions Armory. That link is in the description below, as well as links to my Discord and all my social media. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll catch you for the next one, and may the Force be with you.
Breaking off all units. Fire at will. 1-2, pick a target. Too many, Captain. Watch your stabilizer, Gold 6. Anybody cover me. I got 2 vultures on my tail. Gotta hold them here. Watch your left. I can't shake them. I'm hit. I'm hit. Where's our reinforcements?